back to cryptogains for another video. In this video, I'm going to share with you the Bitcoin price chart, show you something powerful. Are you someone that still thinks the market has not bottomed yet? Bottomed? Bottomed. Sounds funny, doesn't it? Well, I'm going to show you a powerful chart that may change your mind. This is not financial advice. Please do your further research before you invest your money. This is the Bitcoin index chart on the weekly time frame. If you want to grab this up, go onto tradingview.com, search Bitcoin, and you see here the index chart. This is a powerful indicator. Like, trust me, it is. It speaks a lot of stories, and this confirms a lot of stuff. It's called the Keltner channel, or KC for short. If you want to find it, come into indicators, just type KC, and then you see it right there, the Keltner channel, Keltner channels. It basically has 3 lines. And again, I'm using it on the weekly time frame. You can do it on the monthly if you like. And what this does is, for me, it just confirms where the bottom of the market is, where the rally is beginning, where the top of the market is, and when we're breaking back down into the bear market again. So trend reversals, everything. And if we start right back from here, what is this? This is, let me just get rid of this little thing here. It says accept. 2013, literally. 2013 cycle, we saw a massive rally up. And then, we saw the bear market, then we saw another rally. This is what we're looking at, right? So notice how the candles are inside this Keltner channel here, right? And we're looking for a few things. Firstly, piercings of the market. Usually when the price pierces out, we're seeing, euphoric moments, parabolic, just signs of that we are in an extreme euphoric moment, especially if you're looking for the top of the market and you see it piercing out of this line here, right? What else we're looking for? We're looking for when we come back down and we touch this yellow line, if we pierce through this middle line, which may be blue for you, I'll change it to yellow just so we can get a good clear understanding. When we see it pierce through this line and see some candles come underneath, that's a confirmation. That's like a sign telling you that, we're seeing a bear market. This is it. This is confirming that the price is weak. The pressure, the buy momentum is weak. We're seeing weakness in the market, right? So we've got top line, middle line, bottom line. If we see the price pierce through this middle line, expect it to come through to the bottom and pierce through the bottom as well, right? And this is what you see here. So we saw price action come up, came down, tested off this middle line, bounced off it. It finally pierced through this Keltner channel in the middle, and then we saw eventually, even if prices went up again, because we saw this piercing here through this middle line, I expected it to pierce through this bottom line at some point in the future. And this always happens in a bear market. We saw a piercing here, and we saw a piercing here. And then you're thinking, okay, well, we've seen a few pierces. When would be the best time to buy? Because some people might think this is the bottom of the market. How do they know that there's going to be a further crash? Well, you can use something like an RSI indicator to help guide you on your journey so you can get a better understanding. So for example, if you was looking at here, we saw the first piercing. You can also look at where we are with the RSI. Actually, to be fair, that would have been a good buy for me. I would have dollar cost averaged, bought some tokens here, regardless if it's Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, whatever it is, and then I would have waited patiently to see if there was another piercing to come, right? And also on top of that, when you use the RSI, you look for a big reversal in the break of this yellow line on the RSI, and I'll show you real quick, right? Let me just get rid of these. So had I just been watching this, the RSI, we saw movement going down. I would have waited for, again, to see this sort of area here where we break it and then we start holding it as support, you see? And that's what we didn't have. So that's another thing to also pay attention to when you're looking at these piercings, is that we're still in a downtrend. Yeah, we've come up, but we've come back down. We're still waiting to see a massive break to come back up. So that would have been a better signal for me here to say this is the piercing, this is what it is, right? But I want to keep it simple. So now we're looking at piercings. When we break this middle line, if we see candles break through, shows a sign of weakness, we're expected to pierce through the bottom line, right? So then you can look at this and go, okay, well, we've done that. We've saw our piercings down here. We formed the bottom of the market. And again, we're talking about 2015 here. And then we're looking for a piercing upwards. So yeah, we saw a piercing upwards here. but it got rejected at the top of this and it came back down. And then we saw a second piercing here. This is what caused the double bottom, by the way, this one and this one here. Let me just grab up the RSI and see how it works with this. So yeah, we saw a clear break. So this actual piercing, again, you could dollar cost average when you see things like this because it shows that there's sign of strength. So you came down, you saw a bottom here. You know, we worked our way. We couldn't break above this middle line. You see, we got rejected off it. We finally did break the middle line, and then we got rejected at the top. But this could have been a good time to, you know, dollar cost average and buy some. I mean, you're not a fool for buying here. Please don't think you are, because look at what happened in the future. Look at this massive rally. Many people would have loved to have bought Bitcoin at £312, regardless of it falling back down to $198. So I'm saying pounds, dollars. This would have been a great clear sign to, you know, we're seeing a trend reversal, like something's about to happen. Great buy in my eyes. Okay, we double bottomed, you know, because it pierced that again. I would have put a lot more in, knowing that this is pierced through this blue line again at the bottom. Me, straight up, definitely would. I'm looking for these pierces of the bottom of the line. That's your best buy prices, when it's piercing underneath. So, you know, came back above, finally broke above, and then it held support on this yellow line all the way through the cycle. You didn't see, you know, any additional candles get printed underneath because it held it as support. Look, bang, bounced off it. We saw a candle wick straight back up, bounced off it all the way through this wave cycle. Now let's you know, pay attention to 2017, 2018. I was around this time. You guys would have been around. Some of you would have been around this time. We see it pierce out of this line. Let's see, this is euphoric. So, you know, it's piercing out, euphoric moments. Hint, it's a sign that you could be seeing the tops of the market when it's piercing through at the top. So then, you know, you come down, we saw the breaking of this middle line, which gives us a signal, a warning indicator that, you know, it's getting weak. The price momentum is wearing out. It's weak now. We've seen candles now print underneath this middle line. Now, regardless if it comes up, because we've seen this breaking of this middle line, I'm expecting it to pierce through at the bottom at some point. So for me, if I see this, I'm taking profits. I'm taking some decent profits, and I'm going to wait, because at some point, these candles are going to pierce through the bottom line. And so we did right here. And you can see it. Bang, 2018, it pierced straight through. And this is what you want to wait for. You could make absolute life-changing gains just by looking at this indicator alone. You don't need no other indicator. I mean, if you wanted to, like I said, you could throw up the RSI to guide you on your journey, to know like when we're at the bottoms and the tops of the markets, right? Overbought, oversold, overbought, oversold. But you could just look at this alone and see exactly what you want to do on the weekly time frame. Look for the piercings at the top. We're near the top of the market. Look for when it's going to break this middle line. Okay, that's a sign I should be selling my crypto. I'm going to wait until it pierces through the bottom for the best buying opportunity, and that is right here. Do you know how many people would have loved to have bought Bitcoin about $3,000, $3,500 compared to where we are now, right? So, you know, look, we saw this. It formed the bottom, pierced through, perfect time to buy, and then look at what we're waiting for. We're waiting for the pierce back up. You know, it comes straight through this yellow line, it comes straight through it, and this is our sign to say we're going on a euphoric moment or a bull market, right? So you can see here we pierce through this. Anytime I see it pierce through the top line, I'm just seeing signs of euphoric, meaning that, you know, we're in a euphoric moment. And you can see it here, like, all the way through 20. People didn't even realize you're hearing Elon Musk this and buying that and Bitcoin this, but people wasn't really paying attention to the Keltner channel. Maybe I should have been paying more attention to the Keltner channel back then. Let's just come back a little bit. So, you know, we saw the piercing here. We had confirmation of this break here, which confirms when, you know, the bull market has begun. But this, we had a black swan event, which was the 19, right? And this was an indicator to show you that actually this was coming before, you know, we all heard about 19, because 19 happened here. But the piercing happened here back in September of 2019. So everybody that was panicking here, had you been watching back here in 2019, you would have seen the market was getting weak. Maybe bigger money, big powers already knew what was coming with this 19 thing back here, which is why they started to sell. This is where we saw the first weakness. And from then, in my eyes, I'm waiting for a pierce through the bottom line. This was our sign of weakness. This was our pierce through the bottom line. This was the buy of opportunity. This is where I was buying XRP at like I don't know what, 8 cents, 9 cents, I can't remember. I was buying Cardano at a penny. I was buying so many coins so damn cheap right here whilst everyone was panic selling. And funny enough, it was at the pierce of this bottom line. So where are we today? Because I know you're thinking, well, what's going on right now? Where are we? Are we at the bottom? Have we even seen a bottom? Because we now know that when we see this pierce, that usually forms like a bottom, right? This would have been the bottom of this event right here. And again, take a look at how when we come back up, we're bouncing across this, look, the yellow line, we're bouncing off it, and then there's the euphoric moment right here. So let's take a look at where we are today. We saw this massive rise up, right? We had our first pierce of this yellow midline right here back in May of 2021. Many people believe that this was the top. Yeah, it had a higher price slightly, but this is what we call a double top in the, in trading. When you look at these types of charts, it's called a double top. We also had a double bottom as well. It doesn't look precise on this chart here from here to here, from here to here, but it was classed as a double bottom. So if you look at the RSI, you can see here the momentum as to what was going on. So as we was having this insane rally up, you could see the momentum, the buy power was already wearing off, but people weren't paying attention. Look, we had a high here. This is when Elon Musk started talking about how he's buying, Bitcoin and stuff. Look at how it weared off. Look, right, it wore off. Start here. You can see high, lower high, lower high, lower high, and no one was paying attention to the RSI. You see, I was paying attention to the Bitcoin, the Pi Cycle top, because as soon as it happened here, I said to you guys that the Pi Cycle top indicator now may be a good time to sell. And I said I might wait on because we might see altcoins go a bit higher, which we did, right? And lucky enough, we fell in price and we came straight back up. That was a great opportunity to be taking profits. And so many people did, because look, if you look at the RSI down here, the buy momentum did not kick in like it did back here. It was really high up here. This was all the euphoric moment when everybody was excited. Everyone was excited. Diamond hands and all of that stuff. That was all this area here, right? Let's take a look at the count on the channel. We broke down here and we pierced this line here. For me, this was the confirmation that we have seen the start of a bear market. Whether we came up for another top or not, because of this would have been the sign to be looking for the pierce of this line down here. Where do we pierce? So time went on, we saw a top, we went through again, and the pierce didn't have, actually, we saw a pierce here, wick back up, and then we saw a pierce here. This was where many of us were calling the bottom for Bitcoin. I think I called the bottom around here. And obviously we saw a second drop down here. It wasn't much of a big difference, 17,000, 15,000. So, and there's a slight pierce in here, but this for me is where I would have been buying the bulk of the the altcoins. And if you as a patron of mine, you saw the buy alerts. I was telling you all through this, buy. And had we been looking at the counter channel back then, this would have been perfect as an example to be buying. Because when I look at this area here, right here, when I look at that, I tell you what I see. I see this here, and I see this area here. Perfect buying opportunities to be buying your coins right here, round about the bottom. So this is why the counter channel is so damn powerful, because it gives you great insight as to where tops can be, where you should consider taking profits because a bear market might be happening, and where you can take fine advantages of buying in at the bottom, or near enough at the bottom, or dollar cost averaging at great prices. Because look where we are right now today. We've pierced through this yellow line. And we know that once we've seen a bottom and we pierce through this yellow line, usually price holds above it. Look, you can see here, price holds above it. And if we come back to the last cycle, once we pierced through this line, now maybe one or two things might happen. We may see a situation like this. We've pierced through it, we come up, and then we come back down. Or we've already passed this phase here, and maybe we're here, we've pierced through it, and we're just going to keep bouncing now between this blue line and this yellow line all the way through. So if we come back to where we are, this is what I'm seeing. We could potentially be, bouncing now from this blue line to this yellow line all the way through. So if Bitcoin falls in price, I'm expecting it to come down to this yellow line. And this yellow line is slowly moving up. So maybe in the next week or two, if Bitcoin falls, maybe a $24,000 600 price might be where it bounces, unless it comes straight down to this yellow line, which is about 24,100. But I don't expect it to come any less. I think if we're in a bull market, we're going to keep bouncing through this. And only when I see it, the price come down and pierce through this yellow line, like what it did back here, is when I'm going to be expecting Bitcoin to pierce through this bottom line again. And that's when I'm going to take an opportunity to buy the crap out of Bitcoin and everything else. Guys, I'm going to leave it here. If you liked it, drop that like, give me a subscribe. Thank you for watching. Was it helpful to you? If it was, definitely subscribe to me, because I'm going to be bringing more on this Keltner channel. I'm going to be watching this like a hawk all through this cycle, all through 2023, all through 2024, and did I get it out? All through 2023 and 2024. Because I think you need to see it with me. We need to keep an eye on this. This is so damn precise. Like, you could literally buy through these pierces. Like, if you didn't want to do anything else, look, you can just do this. Look, you buy this pierce here, and then you sell at the euphoric pierce up here. You buy down the pierce here, and then you sell when it's piercing right up here. Literally. And then, you just follow the RSI with it as well, which is this indicator here, and that guides you with it. Look, so you buy down here, you're confirming with the RSI down here, and then you're selling when the RSI is up here, along with that pierce up here. You're buying down here with the RSI down here, and then you're going to sell when it's all pierced up here, along with the RSI up here. Powerful. I'm not saying anymore. Become a Patreon. I got 7 tiers. Take your pick. I recommend my exclusive. I'll show you this one another day. My exclusive. Oh no, that ain't it. Let me find it. My exclusive VIP partner tier. I got many tiers. You can take your pick. The link is in the info section. Click it. Come over. This exclusive VIP partner tier unlocks all my posts. So you can see when I'm buying, selling, staking, all my trading stuff, all of that. I'm guiding you. You know, when I buy, if you want to buy, you can. And then you know when I'm going to sell, because you'll see a sell alert. But, I've just been holding long term at the minute, because I feel like now's the time to be buying. It's not a selling market. It's a buying market. Buying as much as you can, sitting back patiently, waiting for that perfect opportunity to sell. And I'm going to be selling at the top. And if you want to sell at the top, come over here. Make sure you don't miss out. I got a CEO tier, which is my next tier above. It gives you access to my VIP Telegram group. In there is where magic happens. I talk to them way before I buy, way before I sell. There's big money in this space. They know how to make money, sharing great projects all the time. Come over, check it out. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Cheers.